The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, show number 274. Today's show is brought to you by Celtic Invasion Vacations. Every year I take a small group of Celtic music fans to exotic locations around the world. We don't travel in big tour buses and see everything. Instead, we stay in one area. We get to know the region through its culture, history, and legends. Plus, I bring you some great Celtic music by me and other Celtic artists. We're going to Brittany in 2017. Subscribe to the mailing list to join the invasion at CelticInvasion.com. Welcome to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, helping you celebrate Celtic culture through music. My name is Mark Gunn. I am your host, and that was Flashpoint with Sleeve Russell, Hag at the Churn, and Kid on the Mountain from their album Jammed. We are back with another awesome episode of Indie Celtic Music, and I'm looking forward to sharing some great music with you. So let's just jump straight into it. Athena Tergis with Johnny McGreevy's, Oni Davies, O'Callaghan's, and Marguerite Reel from her album A Letter Home.
The cook was in the kitchen, the feasters in the hall. A single lady slaving would attempt to feed them all. A family of newcomers saw her cooking on her own, and each one took a pot and swore she wouldn't cook alone. The stone is in the kettle, the water's on the boil, and the work is always lighter when there's many hands. The stone is in the kettle, the water's on the boil, and the work is always lighter when there's many hands to toil. Well, next there came a countess, always giving, always kind. She was set to chopping carrots, but she bent to task assigned. Around the corner peering came a shy and gentle man. He said, "Excuse me for intruding, but I'll help with what I can." The stone is in the kettle, the water's on the boil, and the work is always lighter when there's many hands. The stone is in the kettle, the water's on the boil, and the work is always lighter when there's many hands to toil. Well, the butcher's son declared that he would brave both cold and heat, and he spent the day outdoors to turn and baste the roasting meat. A mother said, "I'd cook, but I've my little one to feed, but we'd be happy to attend to any errands you might need." The stone is in the kettle, the water's on the boil, and the work is always lighter when there's many hands. The stone is in the kettle, the water's on the boil, and the work is always lighter when there's many hands to toil. So soon the fires were roaring up to meet that feast's demand, and that single lady slaving had a dozen cooks at hand. So though the work was frenzied when the servers hit the hall, well, that feast was bright and merry with food enough for all. The stone is in the kettle, the water's on the boil, and the work is always lighter when there's many hands. The stone is in the kettle, the water's on the boil, and the work is always lighter when there's many hands. The stone is in the kettle, the water's on the boil, and the work is always lighter when there's many hands. The stone is in the kettle, the water's on the boil, and the work is always lighter when there's many hands to toil.
beneath the green tree. I and Mary, fond Mary, she says, unto her true love, you have stolen all my young heart by the boughs of the lea. For I loved her very dearly, most truly and sincerely. There is no one in this wide world I loved more than she. Every bush and every bower, every wild Irish flower reminds me of my Mary by the boughs of the lea. Don't stay out too late, love, on the moorlands, my Mary. Don't stay out too late, love, on the moorlands for me. And it's little was my notion as we parted by the ocean, that we were forever parting by the boughs of the lea. For I loved her very dearly, most truly and sincerely. There is no one in this wide world I loved more than she. Every bush and every bower, every wild Irish flower reminds me of my Mary by the boughs of the lea. I'll pull my love some roses, some wild Irish roses. I will pull my love some roses, the finest to see, and I'll lay them by the graveside of my own dear darling Mary, on that cold and silent grave where she sleeps beneath the dew. For I loved her very dearly, most truly and sincerely. There is no one in this wide world I loved more than she. Every bush and every bower, every wild Irish flower reminds me of my Mary by the boughs of the lea.
After Athena Tergis was Heather Dale with Stone Suit from Imagineer. Then came Sarah Marie Mullen from her album Harper's Bazaar. That was Soggy Father Campbell. And finally Calasaig with Banks of the Lea from their album Near and Far. Celtic Podcast news. Well, where do we begin? I want to first start by inviting you to join me on Facebook. It is now my primary place that I am doing a lot of the extra behind-the-scenes promotion of this podcast. And every week, I now highlight Celtic music news from bands in the latest episodes. New Celtic CDs released on CD Baby, and Celtic music spotlights on bands who recently submitted to the podcast. You'll learn additional information about the bands, and you can now listen to the entire shows on Facebook. And stay tuned as I bring back our video shows very soon. So stay tuned for that. The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast is successful thanks to people like you. Your generous pledge of as little as $1 per episode helps cover the cost of producing the show. And 10% of your pledges go back to Celtic nonprofits to help build our Celtic communities. Best of all, whenever we hit a milestone, you get an extra long episode. Right now we're working for 2 hours of Celtic Women, and we're about $29 away. I would love to hit that goal. So if you can help, become a patron of the podcast today, because we are helping you celebrate Celtic culture through music. A special thanks to our latest patron, Laura. If you're in a Celtic band and want your music played on the show, please submit at 4kilts.com. That's the number 4kilts.com, and complete the form, and you'll also get a special feature on our Facebook page. One of the many ways that we are helping you celebrate Celtic culture through music. And finally, I have a new album. Yes, I know I just released Pirates vs. Dragons. This one is now being pre-released on Kickstarter. It's for my band Kilted Kings, which features Randy Wothke of the Rogues on drums and me on autoharp and vocals. And it's a little bit more traditional sounding, more in the vein of my Scottish songs of drinking and rebellion. And the album features heroic Celtic world music in kilts. It's open until September 27th, so I hope you will go check out the Kickstarter page and watch the video and see if it's right for you. I hope to start sharing music in the weeks to come. All right, let's get back to the music. Next up, we have Smithfield Fair from their album Scotland, Fair Scotland. This is Glenlogie.
There were 24 nobles rode through Bantry Fair, and bonny Glenlogie was the flower of them there. There were 99 ladies sat in the King's Hall, and Jeanie of Athelney was the flower of them all. Come down, bonny Jeanie, come tripping down the stairs, and she's chosen Glenlogie over all that was there. But he's turned around lightly, like Jeanie's done all. Said, oh, I thank you, bonny Jeanie, but I've promised them all. So she calls for her maidens to make her a bed. Oh, if I'll not have Glenlogie, I'll surely be dead. A pox on you, Logie, why must it be so? When there's a maid's love laid on ye, must she die in her woe? There were 24 nobles who through Bantry Fair, and bonny Glenlogie was the flower of them there. There were 99 ladies sat in the King's Hall, and Jeanie of Athelney was the flower of them all. He said, what's the woman mean? A pox on Glenlogie will sure saddle my steed. Saddle me the black horse, saddle me the brown, or Jeanie of Athelney would be dead ere and gone. But pale and wan was Jeanie when Glenlogie came in, but red and rosy grew she when she knew it was him. Come down, bonny Jeanie, come down by my side, ach, and I'll be the bridegroom, and sure you'll be my bride. And there were 24 nobles rode through Bantry Fair, and bonny Glenlogie was the flower of them there. There were 99 ladies sat in the King's Hall, and Jeanie of Athelney was the flower of them all. She's got married and her dowry's been told. But when Jeanie of Athelney was scarce 16 years old, of Athelney, you shine while you stand, and the heather bells around you, they shine out o'er the land. And there were 24 nobles who through Bantry Fair, and bonny Glenlogie was the flower of them there. There were 99 ladies sat in the King's Hall, and Jeanie of Athelney was the flower of them all. There were 24 nobles rode through Bantry Fair, and bonny Glenloggie was the flower of them there. There were 99 ladies sat in the King's Hall, and Jeanie of Athelney was the flower of them all.
Fatemi Ostengor, Shanot and an os and an order that and a hideousy and a bon, 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 and a fellow and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a fellow. Per foto for me, for a man and look a man about a man and a crest and an alley. Now, man, get hideousy and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a fellow and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a fellow. I do she done the shot, I do she done the shot, I do she done the shot, in a crest and an alley. Now, man, get hideousy and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a fellow and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a fellow. Per foto for me, per a foto man and look at my back and man and a crest and an alley. Now, man, I got hideousy and a bon, 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 and a fellow and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a fellow. I do she done the shot, I do she done the shot, I do she done the shot, in a crest and an alley. Now, man, I got hideousy and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a fellow and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a fellow. Ostengor, Fatemi Ostengor, Shanoa. A dasan on or and a dad and a hideousy and a bon, 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 and a fellow again and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a bon, and a fellow.
I'm taking a moment to pray for my friends, a handful of people on whom I depend. Our pathways are different, but I love them no less. I'm hoping their sorrows will mend. Tonight I pray for my friends. when I don't know the answers. Search for the truth, and I hope that my judgment will carry me through. I'm so grateful for the people I have in my life. They help me to do what is right. They help me to do what is right. I'm taking a moment to pray for my friends, a handful of people on whom I depend. Our pathways are different, but I love them no less. I'm hoping their sorrows will mend. Tonight I pray for my friends. There are people I've loved that I've lost along the way. We've drifted apart, or they've been called away. I hold them so close in my heart here tonight. They're dear to my heart for all time. They're dear to my heart for all time. I'm taking a moment to pray for my friends, a handful of people on whom I depend. Our pathways are different, I love them no less. I'm hoping their sorrows will mend. Tonight I pray for my friends. Tonight I pray.
After Smithfield Fair was the Rogues with Marin's Jig. And the Rogues, of course, feature Randy Wothke on drums, and that's from their album Rogue Trip. Then came Jasper Cole with Fiona Nulla from 1,000 Feet Closer to Hell, and finally Jesse Linder with Prayer for My Friends from Ready for the Storm. I want your feedback. What are you doing today while listening to the podcast? You can send a written comment along with a picture of what you're doing while listening, or from one of your trips to one of the Celtic nations, or call 678-KELT-POD to leave a voicemail message. That's 678-235-8763. Baldwin4325 wrote on iTunes, a wonderful find. I've always loved Celtic music. I listen at work. The music is absolutely perfect. Just the right amount of description and chat intermixed with a lot of beautiful music. So glad this is out in the universe. Christopher Wilhelm Engelbrecht wrote on Facebook, thanks as always for brightening up 1 hour of my week with awesome Celtic music. Really needed it yesterday, and when attempting to assemble this IKEA couch. It was an ordeal, but the podcast kept me pumped and got me through it. Helen emailed, hi Mark, episode 203, The Work of the Weavers, is keeping me company while I photograph Celtic jewelry at work today. I'm a new listener to the podcast, and I'm really enjoying the mix you play. Cheers. Raul Icart emailed, I write you from Tarragona, near Barcelona, Catalonia. Thank you for the great amount of music that I've discovered, either via the podcast or through Celtic 103. I would like to help financially in this project, but right now it is complicated. Nevertheless, I found a way to do my bit if this suits you. I've seen that there are many podcasts that do not have the time inserted. If you want, I can do it on my own, and I will send you the results. Let me know if this can be useful for you, or if I can help you in any other way. Sláinte. Thank you, Raul. And yes, I have started to receive your emails. I am looking forward to putting those into the show and improving this show constantly. Any way I can do that is just awesome. I love making this show better. And I think last week I mentioned I brought on Todd Wiley, who's helping me gather the Celtic news and whatnot over on Facebook. And I'm really excited. This is making the show better, not just from a listening perspective, but also from a way to help these bands. That's what this show is all about, is helping the bands. So thank you, Raul. Thank you to each and every one of you who finds your own way to help out or to become a patron of the podcast. It's always appreciated. Thank you very, very much. Finally, Chris Cupiston emailed, hello, I started listening to your podcast about a week ago while at work, and I absolutely love it. The Star Wars songs you made are amazing, being a huge fan as well. I was wondering if you heard of the band Darby O'Gill. They are a pretty fun and funny band that is perfect for if you do another Pub Songs episode. They're also the main band that got me into this type of music. Well, I have a lot of catching up to do with your series. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Yes, I have heard of Darby O'Gill, and I don't think I've ever contacted them to get them on the podcast. So I will see about reaching out to them. You can do the same, and maybe we can have them on the show in the near future. In the meantime, you mentioned Star Wars and the Brobdingnagian Bards. My other band is performing this weekend at Dragon Con in Atlanta. So, seems a perfect time to share the Jedi drinking song from our CD, Brobdingnagian Fairy Tales.
Kissed your sister.
I had 1 pint of beer and 1 shot of scotch, 1 bottle of wine and a bourbon on the rocks. I had 1 glass on me right, another on me left. I looked that puppet in the eye and said, give me the test. Long time ago when I'm up far away, I sat on a bar stool just a drinking away. I couldn't hold it down, I guess I had too much. I felt a tremor in the force and then I lost my lunch. Woke up in desert land, feeling hot and sick. I saw a bearded man, he looked like some kind of hick.
Just like Mark.
He slowly waved his hand and my pain was gone. He said, let's go see Yoda and I'll teach you the song. I had 1 pint of beer and 1 shot of scotch, 1 bottle of wine and a bourbon on the rocks. I had 1 glass on me right, another on me left. I looked that puppet in the eye and said, give me the test. We got a starship and we flew off into space. He said his name was Obi-Wan, there was no time to waste. I have to get your train before it's too late. So drink this bottle of whiskey and don't give in to hate. Train went on and I drank most of the bar. We had to stop off 4 flies in the nearest Death Star. I learned to control my fear and hold my alcohol. Soon I was able to stand when Obi-Wan would fall. I had 1 pint of beer and 1 shot of scotch, 1 bottle of wine and a bourbon on the rocks. I had 1 that's on me right, another on me left. I looked that puppet in the eye and said, give me the test. Laugh it up, fuzzball.
These aren't the bards you are looking for.
Sat down beside him and I looked him in the eye. He looked right back at me and said, judge me by my size. Obi-Wan said, careful, for Yoda is the best. Said, okay, shorty, bring on that test. Well, I can tell you how it ended, I can tell you some lies. But let's just say that on that night, the force was on his side. I got riled up, they threw me in jail. I said, I don't believe it, Yoda said that's why I failed. I had 1 pint of beer and 1 shot of scotch, 1 bottle of wine and a bourbon on the rocks. I had 1 that's on me right, another on me left. I looked that puppet in the eye and said, give me the test. I had 1 pint of beer and 1 shot of scotch, 1 bottle of wine and a bourbon on the rocks. I had 1 that's on me right, another on me left. I looked that puppet in the eye and said, give me the test. Well, I looked that muppet in the eye and said, give me the test. Well, I looked that little runt right in the eye.
The Force should be with you, always.
Long time ago, when the world was young and young men could find their way. There were wars we fought, but the young have forgotten. They run off in a haze. Now as old men we feel left to fend, glory days lost in the blend. But the drink's still sweet as it numbs our feet, and we'll sing the old drunk anthems. That way like it's the same, and we scream our cheers to those squares, and we sit and imbibe our beer. Now as old men we feel left to fend, glory days lost in the blend. But the drink's still sweet as it warms our feet, and we sing the old drunk anthem. I walk on home on a once nice street where the young have grown and gone. From my old numb feet I can feel the street decay like dead men in the grave. Now the young they scream for their two-bit treats, while the old still praise the dead. But the drink's still sweet, so let's numb our sleep, and we'll sing the old drunk anthems. Are we ever truly free when the drink's this sweet? Are we ever truly free? Does it mean anything to me? Are we ever truly free when the drink's this sweet? Are we ever truly free? Does it mean anything to me? I can see defeat on this once nice street and give up on the grown and gone. I kick up my feet from this dead numb street and my poor lost wasted life. Now as old men we feel left to fend, glory days lost in the blend. But the drink's still sweet as it numbs our feet, and we sing the old drunk anthems. Are we ever truly free when the drink's this sweet? Are we ever truly free? Does it mean anything to me? Are we ever truly free when the drink's this sweet? Are we ever truly free? Does it mean anything to me? Long time ago, when the world was young and young men could find their way, there were wars we fought, but the young have forgotten. They run off in a haze.
Things are like they used to be, say back in 1987, when you'd play all day or fight your way to school with pals like Kevin. There were life and death decisions about rookie cards and clear all-stars. Remember when you'd break away and o'er the landfill road? Now you wonder what It seems the posse disappeared. Well, you sat and stayed like the t-shirt says, another wasted year. Only see him at the cookout on a fine June day. A stickball game, one more just for the old time's sake, and blink a tear away. But it don't feel wrong this time. Kevin's back from far away. Finished up his tour, now he's home from war. Thought you'd never see him again. He made a life and death decision. Well, thank God he's done. It seems so long, so buy the kid around tonight and heave a sigh of relief. Kevin's home. 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 Kevin's home.
Na 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 na. We got dirty habits like necking Jaeger bombs. Ops and cocktail chasers, we take all that comes. Fire in the belly, a monkey on the back, a chip on the shoulder, and a passion for the psycho. With my brother Sylvester, tearing up the town. Been such a long time since he's been around. Money in my pocket, burning a hole. Where it all will end, nobody knows. Na 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 na. He said he felt the need to get a piercing done, but he'd only do it if I would come along. He sat down in a chair, she rubbed him with a swab, gave him a Prince Albert, we call him Metal Knob. With my brother Sylvester, tearing up the town. Been such a long time since he's been around. Money in my pocket, burning a hole. Where it all will end, nobody knows. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. She said her name was Sarah, and she matched him pint for pint. He said, let's get married. She said, what's the point? She showed him all her silverware. It lasted for 3 nights. The piercings got entangled, but the doctors put that right. With my brother Sylvester, tearing up the town. Been such a long time since he's been around. Money in my pocket, burning a hole. Where it all will end, nobody knows. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Here we go. Whoop. Sunday morning hits us like a hammer to the head. Swear we'll never drink again, wishing we were dead. Take a hair of the dog, and Sunday evening rocks. Monday comes around too soon, spent broke lock. With my brother Sylvester, tearing up the town. Been such a long time since he's been around. Money in my pocket, burning a hole. Where it all will end, nobody knows. With my brother Sylvester, tearing up the town. Been such a long time since he's been around. Money in my pocket, burning a hole. Where it all will end, nobody knows. Na 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 na.
After Brobdingnagian Bards was Sons of Malarkey from their self-titled album that was Old Drunk Anthems. Then came the Larkin Brigade with Dot Day from Paddy Keys for Mayor. Then the Roving Crows with Dirty Habits from Bacchanalia. And finally, D-Train by Celtic Cross from Saoirse's Heart. If you enjoy this podcast, there is one thing you can do. Well, many things, but please rate the show on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. Then subscribe to our Celtic Music magazine. This is our free newsletter and your guide to the latest Celtic music and podcast news. Subscribe today to download 34 Celtic MP3s for free, and remember to support the artists who support this podcast. This is why this show is here. Buy their CDs, download their MP3s, see their shows, and drop them an email to let them know you heard them on the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. And remember to vote in the Celtic Top 20 to help me create next year's Best Celtic Music of 2016 episode. It's pretty easy to do. All you have to do is vote for your 2 favorite bands in each and every show. Nice and simple. Go vote. CelticMusicPodcast.com/vote. We're going to finish up with Runa, The Banks Are Made of Marble, from their album Current Affairs. Thank you so much for listening. I will not be here next week. Since I have a big festival, I'm decided I'm going to take off next week unless something miraculous happens. So I will be back in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for your support, and I will talk to you later. Sláinte.
Traveled round this country from shore to shining shore. Really made me wonder the things I heard and saw. I saw the same man standing idly by the shore. I heard the bosses say, "We've got no work for you no more." The banks are made of marble with a guard at every door, and the vaults are stuffed with silver that the seaman sweated for. Saw the weary farmer plowing sod and loam. Heard the auction hammer knocking down his home. Saw the weary miner scrub coal dust from his back. I heard his children crying, "We've got no coal to heat the shack." The banks are made of marble, with a guard at every door, and the vaults are stuffed with silver that the miners sweated for. Traveled round this country from shore to shining shore. Really made me wonder the things I heard and saw. See my brothers working throughout this mighty land. I prayed we'd get together and together make a stand. And we'd own those banks of marble with a guard at every door, and we'd share those vaults of silver we've all sweated for. And we'd own those banks of marble, the guard at every door. We'd share those vaults of silver we've all sweated for.
The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast is produced by Mark Gundy, Kiltfather. To subscribe, go to iTunes or to our website, where you can become a patron of the podcast for as little as $1 per episode. You can post feedback in the show notes at CelticMusicPodcast.com.